Hello, Bee Club. Well, it's been a long, cold, dark winter. Last night we set our clocks forward. Today it's sunny. I'm looking out the window here and I see a cherry tree that's just about ready to bloom. You know what that means? It's bee time. It's time for the bees to get active. At the Finnegan Armstrong household, we have 4 beehives that survive the winter. Up at the pea patch just up the street, we have one of our beehives, our Blanchette beehives, that survived the winter. Now those beehives they're thriving right now. They're raising a new generation of bees to go out this spring and do what honeybees do. Now we don't want to open up those honeybee hives yet because they gotta maintain an internal temperature of between 80 and 90 degrees to keep their young developing. So we want to wait until the air temperature warms up quite a bit before we open up those beehives and start inspecting them. That time will come soon, in about 3 or 4 weeks. When that happens, we're going to get the word out to you guys, and you guys could join us. We got bee suits and everything for you. And we could go inside the honeybee hive to see what's there. Now, today what I want to talk to you about is a different type of bee. It's called the mason bee. Now, there's 44 different types of bees. And the mason bee is a very small bee. It looks like a fly. It's black like a fly. Except on its back, it's kind of blackish blue. Its antennas are a little bit longer than a fly. They're slow, clumsy flyers. What the mason bee does is it lives in like little tubes like this. We could give them a place to live like this, or they could find a place to live, like a little hole in the tree or a little hole in the fence post. And what the mason bee is going to do is this is going to be its home. Now, the goal of a bee is to raise young. So what it's going to do is, well, I'll show you. Right here is I got some mason bee cocoons. I just dropped a couple. These mason bee cocoons are going to hatch when it's about 55 degrees. Now, the first ones that are going to hatch are the males. Now, male mason bees are just like the male honeybees. They really have no purpose in life other than to mate. So what they're going to do is they're going to hatch. And if we put them in here, and if they hatch out of here, they're going to stay kind of near this area. And all they're looking for is a female mason bee. The female mason bees are the second ones to hatch. And they'll hatch about a week later. Now, they're going to come out, and the male and the female are going to happen. After that, the male's going to die. Then it's just the female that's left. Now, like I said, the goal of a bee is to raise young. So what the female mason bee is going to do is it's going to go out and gather nectar, and it's going to gather pollen, and it's going to fly back to these tubes. And what it's going to do is it's going to put the pollen there and regurgitate the nectar, and it's going to make like a pollen nectar patty. And after it's made a pollen nectar patty, it's going to lay an egg on top of that pollen nectar patty. Now, they're called mason bees because what a mason does is it kind of works with cement. So it's going to go out next, and it's going to start gathering a whole bunch of dirt. And it's going to come in these tubes, and it's going to make like a dirt wall to protect that egg. And then after it does that, it's going to do the process over again. Go out and get nectar and go get pollen, come back into this tube, make a pollen nectar patty, lay an egg on top of it, then go get some dirt, and make a wall. And it's going to keep on doing that, and it's going to fill up this whole tube. Within this tube, there's going to be about 10 of these chambers. And each one of these chambers, there's going to be that nectar pollen patty and an egg on top. And it's going to be separated by the walls of mud. It's going to, in a lifetime, probably fill up about 2 of these tubes. So that's one mason bee laying 20 eggs. The life cycle of the mason bee is not that long. It's only going to live for about 4 to 5 weeks. And after that, it's going to die. Inside of here is going to be the eggs, and during the summer, the egg is going to hatch. And as soon as it hatches, it's going to start eating that pollen and nectar patty that the mom left. It's going to eat that, and it's going to get energy, and it's going to grow. And then what it's going to do is going to start to metamorphosize, almost like a caterpillar turning into a bee. So it's going to turn into this cocoon, and this cocoon is this. And it's going to stay in here until the next spring. So what I got for you, if you want, is I got a whole bunch of these. and I got a whole bunch of cocoon eggs. So if you want to have your own mason bee hive at your house, contact Miss Armstrong or myself. I'll give you one of these, and I'll give you about 10 of these cocoons. What you're going to do with these cocoons is you're just going to place them in these tubes, kind of push them kind of far back so birds don't get them. Hang it on the outside of your house or on a tree, and then watch over the next couple of weeks. They're going to hatch, and you're going to see your own mason bees fly in and out of this tube. And then you're going to see them start filling up these tubes with those the mud walls. The mason bee is a very harmless bee. It doesn't want to sting you. And if it does sting you, it'd be kind of like similar to a mosquito bite. It's just going to make your skin swell up just a little bit. People that are allergic to mason bees, are allergic to honeybees, are not allergic to mason bees. So I've got a whole bunch of cocoons. I've got a whole bunch of these mason bee setups for you. So if you want to do one of these, again, contact Miss Armstrong or myself, and we'll get you set up with these. I'm looking forward to getting the bee club going. It's springtime, the sun's out, the flowers are going to come, and that means it's bee time. So again, here in a couple weeks, we're going to put the word out, and we're going to have you guys come, and we'll start teaching you about the honeybee. All right, bee club. Also, I'll include another link to another video, maybe a little bit more professionally done, about the mason bee. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.